What's up, fam? It's your boy Harvey. I'm sitting here reminiscing on back in the day, right? When I was a dope fiend, right? Heroin, cocaine addict with a dealer's habit. How I used to have to be out on the block, sometimes 24/7, right? Sometimes 24/7 I was out on the block, right? And sometimes I might be out there 15, 16 hours, right? And sometimes I'd be out there 2 or 3 hours, right? It depends on, how the situation was, cause after being on the block for so long, right, you get to a point, right, when you start getting hot, right? When you start getting hot, you might can't stay out there as long as you used to, right? But yeah, I was thinking about that, back in the day though, right? When I used to have to be out on that block, right? When I had a dealer's habit, right? I used to try to keep the best narcotics, in my hood, right? You know what I mean? Because I knew how to put it up in me, right? And get that magic number, right? And know what type of scale to put it on, right? You know what I mean? Because I used to speedball, right? Right? And I knew, what it take, basically what it take, to have a good product, right? So I basically used to keep a good product, right? You know what I mean? Because I knew how to test it, right? I knew how to test, stuff, right? So the peoples that I used to deal with and stuff, I used to make sure they keep a straight package, right? Because for the most part, I wasn't selling nothing that wasn't, like that, right? But yeah, I knew how to, find that magic number, right? I knew how to, make sure the package, be something real good, right? And I did that for years, basically. I did that for years, right? For years, but I was just thinking about that, yeah, back in the day, right? When I was a dope fiend, right? And I had a dealer's habit, and I used to have to be out on that block, right? Keeping that package straight, right? You know what I mean? I had clientele, right? I had all the clout, right? I had all the clout, right? I had people coming from everywhere, you know what I mean? Different states, different counties, right? I used to sit out there in a business chair, right? And just roll backwards and forwards in it, right? To the cars that came up, right? Back in the day on my strip, right? You know what I mean? I did that for years, right? You know what I mean? I had, galleries around there and everything, that I used to hang out in and stuff back when I was a dope fiend, right? Back in the day, right? But yeah, man, I was just thinking about that, right? Back in the day, right? How I sold so much, coke and heroin, right? Back in the day, right? I sold so much of it, right? Every day, right? Sold so many packs of it every day. So many packs of it. You know what I mean? I used to have to be out there like that, right? Because, I had a dealer's habit, right? And like I say, I kept the best stuff, right? So I used to go through packs and packs and packs. It wasn't nothing for me to go through a few packs in 5 minutes, right? Because that's how heavy I used to hit, sometime, right? You know what I mean? I used to hit real heavy, right? I used to hit real heavy, right? You know what I mean? Because like I say, I used to keep the joint that was straight, right? I used to keep the packages, straight, right? You know what I mean? I kept real good narcotics, right? Be it coke or dope when I was out there like that back in the day, right? Like I say, right? I used to test the shit and everything, you know what I mean? For certain, people that used to supply me and things back in the day when I was into that, right? You know what I mean? I knew how to test that thing also, right? You know what I mean? And make sure it was right. You know what I mean? But yeah, I was just thinking about that back in the day, right? When I was a dope fiend, you know what I mean? When I was a junkie out there, in those streets, and and I had a dealer's habit, right? You know what I mean? On the street level, where I had to be out there on the block, you know what I mean? I had to be out there on the block, you know what I mean, selling narcotics back in the day, right? Yeah. But I had to go away. Do a couple little bits, right? But for years, right? You know what I mean? I kept, the best narcotics. Yeah, fam, but I was just giving something a little bit on back in the day when I had a dealer's habit and I was out on the block, running narcotics. Yeah, fam. I wore many hats though back in the day, right? When I was dealing, selling, buying, and using, right? Yeah, I wore many hats. I got 14 years. I got 14 years now though, right? It's been 14 years since I was last involved in that lifestyle, right? Buying, using, and selling drugs. I gave that up now. It's been 14 years. I gave that life up. I got a whole new life, right? Things, is, much, better on the other side, right? You know what I mean? And now that I'm on the outside looking in, right? I can really see things that I couldn't see, when I was a junkie, when I was a junkie, a dealer, buying, selling, and using, and getting high every day, right? I can look at things, from a completely different perspective now, the whole thing, right? But yeah, but back in the day, I wore many hats. I wore many hats when I was, a junkie, Dope-fiend, or whatever. I wore many hats, right? I tried pharmaceuticals. I did, everything I could do when it came to being, a junkie, right? I was involved in, so many things throughout the years, right? But like I say, I got 14 years, clean and sober, right? I gave that life up. I got a whole new life, right? You know what I mean? I was trapped in that life for a long time, right? But I got 14 years now, right? Clean and sober. I done gave that life up, moved on, got a whole new life, right? At one time, I could never, really seeing myself being able to, change my life. But I got fed up back in the day, right? I got fed up, on my last, incarceration, I caught a bit, right? And I got fed up, I reflected, right? I pondered and reflected, and I was fed up with that lifestyle, right? I couldn't take no more. I'd been through so much pain, right? I guess that was rock bottom for me, right? I ain't like the lifestyle no more. I had a chance to think about things, right? Yeah, that last run was rock bottoms for me, right? And I got fed up, right? And my body started going through physical changes, that I wasn't, that I hadn't been through before, right? My body was going through physical changes, disease had set in, in other areas of my life, besides my, addiction, the drug disease, other diseases that hit my body and stuff. So all that was a wake-up call for me, man. I got fed up and I ain't want nothing to do with it no more, right? And I never turned back after that, I was able to, to get my health again, and, get a little better, then I, had disease set in and things, right? But I was fed up back in the day, and I learned my lesson, right? I learned my lesson. I didn't want to be a junkie no more, right? So like I say, I gave that up. I changed, my life. I gave up all that came with it, buying, selling, and using. I gave it all up, for a better life, right? It was a struggle, but it got easier and easier for me once I made my mind up that I didn't want to be a junkie no more, and I started doing different things, right? And I separated myself from that old lifestyle, right? I separated myself, and I had, things start, going different for me, right? I just, changed people, places, and things, like they say. And, narcotics and artists, basically that's what I did, and things got better and better for me, as I went on, right, with this new life, right? But yeah, I gave up that buying, selling, and using, right, back in the day, right? Like I say, I got like 14 years now with a new life.